August 23rd, 2023. That's a marker for our third Mercury Retrograde of 2023. There's going to be 4 of them. This is the third one. And this time it's in the mutable earth sign of Virgo, which brings us up to a party of six retrograde planets going on in the sky right now. And the Mercury Retrograde will last until September 15th, 2023. Now, the outer planets in retrograde, they're kind of longer stories. They take a long time to go back and forth, and that's not as significant as the quicker moving planets like Mercury, Venus, Mars. When they're retrograde, that's felt a little more presently in our lives because it's fast. The Mercury retrograde specifically, and it's going to be more apparent if you're in a Mercury-ruled profection year or if you have a lot of planets in Virgo, because this retrograde is focusing on the Virgo portion of our life, and everybody does have a Virgo portion of the Trivial Pursuit pie, especially in whole sign. We look at that, whatever whole sign house it's ruling. Mercury is really a strange planet when you think about it. It's very interesting. In mythology, Mercury is seen as neither male nor female, goes wherever it wants, goes to the underworld, all the way to the realm of the gods. It's carrying messages. And it's the only planet in astrology that's in domicile and exaltation in the same sign, which means it's in its home sign and it's the ruler that's most exalted. It has the power to do whatever it wants, and that's Virgo. So Mercury here is at full power for precision and expression through that precision as it's riding through Virgo. And when it's retrograding here, I see Mercury really as like a doubling down on the details of your life. This is a time for you to analyze, discriminate, adapt to the material learning realm. But this is a more internal focus period rather than an outward one. So it's a deep communication period with yourself. Now, whether you have a Mercury heavy year or lots of Virgo energy or not, for everyone, this retrograde-topia, I'm calling it, that we're experiencing along with this Mercury retrograde, it's opening a space for a serious time of retrospection, rethinking, taking some time to clean up your inner space. Virgo is all about making things better, improving. The part of you that's Virgo wants to be perfect in that area of your life, to a perfected state. And, let's also be honest about this, that there's no such thing as perfect, but when we aim for a high standard, we get a lot closer to great than if we don't have those high standards at all. And that's something we're sort of losing in our lives, I think, in general, that these high standards, this true virtue is going by the wayside. And that's creating a lot of problems for people. So thinking about that, that's something I'm thinking about. I'll share some Virgo journal prompts that I found a little bit later, which you can use to guide this period practically. And the Virgo part of you is really going to appreciate that. And it can also facilitate some further self-analysis. Ancient astrologers believed that when Mercury was retrograde, it was traveling through the underworld. It was collecting all these lost, hidden, or untapped messages from deep within our subconscious. So this could be an interesting experiment to journal through this period and watch what your images, messages, your dreams, all the things coming into your life during this time, and engage with that a little more deeply. One thing Virgo is an expert at is seeing the details. And how do you do that? Well, taking your time, careful observation, quiet, diligent contemplation. It's not a fast food kind of situation. This is slow. And it can feel annoying, for sure, when you're ready to get things moving. It's understandable. When you know there's a retrograde pileup, Californians always think about highways. There's a pileup of planets on the 15 south. There's a pileup, okay? There's a pileup of retrograde planets. They're all going backwards on the freeway. But this is a time not to be trying to go forward. It's a time to be looking back. It's a time for contemplation, slowing down, formulating your ideas, your plans. Some of the shadow side of the Mercury and Virgo retrograde that might be coming up that can be really annoying, that you might experience, is like nitpicking, fault finding, being extra worried during this period, or working yourself a little harder, just workaholic tendencies on yourself, or people around you are working so hard and maybe you're not getting the attention that you want from people in your life, or people are being extra critical on you, or you're criticizing yourself a lot more. Maybe around more judgmental people, or feeling a little more sensitive to judgment. So that could be coming up, just to keep an awareness of that. And the way to use this time most wisely is to really slow down, listen to your intuition, have a good practical chat with yourself about what you want to make better in your life. And this is especially powerful Virgo type things like efficiency, discrimination, organization, serving others, health, practicality, It's a good time to clean out your closet. Cleaning up, making things a little more clear, a little more purposeful. The standard warning I have to issue for you for the Mercury retrograde period is that it's not considered to be a favorable time to sign long-term contracts, purchase expensive travel tickets, buy a new computer. Emails might not go through, stuff like that. It's just one of those things that happens more prevalently during Mercury retrograde. So double check the details with a fine-tooth comb, Virgo style, if you have to do any of that stuff. It doesn't mean don't do it. It just means, be a little more diligent, more aware. Now, here are the Mercury retrograde journal prompts for Virgo. And this is from an amazing astrologer called Tanazz from Forever Conscious. I really like these journal prompts, so why reinvent the wheel? I'm just going to share with you what she already invented. I think they're great. Number 1, what are some things you do well that you often overlook or dismiss? Number 2, how do you typically respond to your own mistakes or failures? Can you reframe these situations with a more self-compassionate lens? Number 3, what are 3 things you can do to prioritize your health and well-being? Number 4, how do you feel when you have to ask others for help? Experiment with breaking free of some of these blocks to receive help when needed. Number 5, set an intention for each day this week and then plan your daily schedule around that intention. See how it helps shift and change your week. All right, so those are 5 things to think about. Even if you don't journal about them, just sort of take a minute to reflect on them or meditate on them. I think they're really good. I hope you have a really wonderful, wonderful Mercury retrograde. We can reframe this sometimes maligned or fearful period to help us move forward. These retrograde periods are really nice for retrospection, introspection, looking back, looking forward, and looking deep inside for your true path, listening to those messages. I like you just the way you are, and I'll talk to you next time.